Alright, so here we are on lesson 26, day 1, and we're doing percent of a quantity, and today we are doing the visual way to solve these types of problems, and then tomorrow we're going to do the algorithm, and then on the third day you can decide which way you would like to solve these problems. So, example 1 says 5 of the 25 girls on the Alden Middle School soccer team are 7th grade students. So I'm going to underline 5 of the 25. Find the percentage of 7th graders on the team. Show two different ways of solving the answers. So we're going to use the diagram, and these kind of look like our double number lines that we used to use. So we have our first line, then we have 2 coming out from it. Alright, and we know that the first spot is always 0, so the top is going to be 0, and the bottom is going to be 0%. So on the bottom we're going to have all the percents. So they said that 5 of the 25 girls are on the soccer team are 7th grade students. So that means we know our total, our last line, is 25. And we know that a full percentage is 100%. So now they told us that 5 of the 25 are 7th graders. So that means we need to have a line with 5. So that means to count to get to 25, we're just going to count by 5s here. So this will be 10, 15, 20, and then we have 25. So on the top we have 10, 15, 20, and then 25. So on the bottom we have to figure out what our percentages are going to be, how we're going to split that up. So if you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So we're going to divide the 100% by 5. And that equals 20. So we're dividing by the 5 boxes. So that means each line will be an addition of 20%. So this one will be 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, and then we have 100%. So now that we have our drawing, now we need to answer the question. It says find the percentage of 7th graders on the team. So they told us that 5 out of the 25 were 7th graders. So if we look at 5, and we look at the percent, we can see that 20% are 7th graders. And that is the answer. Alright, so let's look at example 2. It says, of the 25 girls on the Alden Middle School soccer team, 40% also played on the travel team. How many of the girls on the middle school team are also on the travel team? So we are still working with the same 25 girls from example 1. So our picture is going to be the same. So if you copy that down from up above, put in our double number line here. On the end we have 0 and 0% always. And over here, we know that there's 25 total. And that's 100%. So if we fill in our other lines, we'd have 5, 10, 15, 20. So this is exactly the same as it was up above. Okay, so now if we look back at the question, it says 40% play on the travel team. So they gave us 40%, so that's what we're looking at now down here. And they want to know how many of the girls play on travel. 40% is 10 girls. So we can say that 10 girls play travel. And that is our answer. Alright. Example 3 says that the Alden Middle School girls soccer team won 80% of their games this season. If the team won 12 games, how many games did they play? So they're looking for the total amount. So if we start to set up our diagram here, make it about the same size. So we know the ends are 0 and 0%. Alright, and they told us that they won 80% of their games. So we know that the end is going to be 100%. And we don't know what this is going to be, so I'm going to draw a little box here. And we know that they won 80% of their games. So if we were to put 80% on the double number line, that would be about here. This is 80%, and they told us that they won 12 games. So So 12 is going to go up on top. So now we have to ask ourselves, how far is it in between 80% and 100%? We know that the difference there is 20. So I'll write that in here. The difference from there to there is 20. So that means that we're going to count by 20% again. So this would be 20%. This would be 40%. And then this would be 60%. So now we have to figure out what to put on the top. So if we look from the 12, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes behind the 12. So that means we're going to divide 12 by 4, which we know is 3. So that means we're going to count by 3. So we get 3, 6, 9. Then we get 12. And then here, that means this would be 15. So to answer the question, we can say that they played 15 total games. Okay. Flip on over to the next page. I've got 2 more I want to go through with you, and then 2 for you to try on your own. So now we don't have a word problem. They're just asking us to find the part. It says, what is 25% of 80? So when we see the word of and then a number, that means that this is our total. So they gave us the total, which is really helpful. So if we start to draw our double number line here, right, we know this is 0%, and we know this is 0. So they gave us the total amount, which is 80. So this is 80 up top, and we know this is 100%. And they're asking us, what is 25% of 80? So if we were to put 25% on here, it'd be closer to 0, so this would be 25%. And then the space from 0 to 25 is 25, so that means we're going to count by 25%. So that means this would be 50%. And then this would be 75%, and then we have 100%. So now we got to ask ourselves, how many boxes come before the 80? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. So that means we're going to divide 80 by the 4 boxes, which equals 20. So that means we're counting by 20 up above. So 20, 40, 60, and then we get to 80. So to answer the question, what is 25% of 80? If we look at 25%, we see that that goes with 20. So our answer here would be 20. Alright, I want you to try part 2 on your own and bring it into class. But I'll tell you that the answer here you should get is 54. So if you don't get that as your answer, then we can take a look at it all together. The last one I want to do with you is number 3. So this is finding the whole. So finding the whole means we don't know what the total is. So this one says 45 is 90% of what number? So we start our double number line here. We know that we have 0 on the end and then 0%. And then down here, we know that we're going to have 100%. And we're looking for that total up there. So now they're asking 45 is 90%. So 90% would be pretty close to 100. It would be here. And this is 45. So that means by percentages, we're counting by tens. So we'd have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then 80, and these are all the percents. Can't fit them all in on here. And then they told us that 45 is the 90%. So we have to count the boxes now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes. So we're dividing 45 by the 9 boxes. And we know that equals 5. So we're going to count by 5s. So up top we would have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. We have the 45. So that means this would be 50. And that's what they're asking us of what number. So our final answer here would be 50. Alright, and then I want you to try number 4 on your own. And we can look at it in class, but I'll tell you that the answer here is 130. Alright, so go ahead and try those last two on your own, and then we will talk more about this in class tomorrow.